First Local News Weekly Report with Colette Linden.
Good evening, I'm Colette Linden, and here's a look at the news from this week. The Special Investigations Unit are still investigating a fatal shooting last weekend. A Sault Ste. Marie Police Services officer discharged their firearm during a call for service in the 0 to 100 block of 2nd Line West. On May 11, 2024, at around 10:30 p.m., officers were flagged down by people who told officers a 37-year-old was harassing them. Officers began an interaction with the 37-year-old and were in the process of getting them to leave the area. The interaction then escalated and an officer discharged their firearm. The man died later at the Sault area hospital. The scene was taped off for about 2 days but has since been cleared. The SIU have not released any more details on this incident. Meanwhile, Sault Ste. Marie police are still trying to put together what led to a double shooting early Saturday morning on May the 11th. Police say around 12 a.m., 911 communicators received calls of possible gunfire at a residence in the 0 to 100 block of Wemyss Street. Upon arrival, officers with patrol services secured the scene and found 2 victims with injuries from gunshot wounds. First Local News has learned that a father and his son were shot at the residence. The 18-year-old son suffered life-threatening injuries, the father with serious injuries. Police still have not made an arrest in that shooting. A person who has been slashing tires in the city was arrested this past week and also charged with arson. On May 10, 2024, detectives with Sault Ontario Investigation Services charged 40-year-old Andrew Hay with arson and 14 mischief offenses. Between April 14th and April 21st of 2024, 911 communicators received reports of 45 tires being slashed on a total of 20 vehicles. One of those vehicles was also scratched with a key and had a bicycle placed on its hood. Another vehicle also appeared to have been kicked, causing damage. The tire slashings occurred on St. Andrews Terrace, St. George's Avenue North Street, Albert Street, Party Avenue, Spruce, and Wellington Street West. An investigation revealed the accused was involved in these occurrences. The accused was also suspected of causing a garage fire on April the 13th in the 0 to 100 block of St. Andrews Terrace. No physical injuries were sustained from the fire. The man that was stabbed multiple times last September on the boardwalk was honored by Sault Police at the Sault Ontario Police Community Awards. Liam Furnett, 28, survived the brutal stabbing that happened in broad daylight and captured on video posted to social media. Sault Police honored Furnett for his bravery, strength, and determination to survive with a commendation letter at the 36th Annual Sault Police Community Awards at the Delta Hotel Thursday evening. Furnett's alleged attacker, Stephen Jones, is facing 2 separate charges, one for the murder of 22-year-old Taylor Marshall and another for the attempted murder of Furnett on the Sault's boardwalk. A 90-minute discussion ended with a 7-3 vote in favor of a resolution that will see the city and the Sault YMCA enter into a 10-year lease agreement and the city contribute up to $505,000 toward capital repairs to the McNabb YMCA, a total to be matched by the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Corporation. The city is taking on a manageable risk, says Mayor Matthew Shoemaker, one he says costs less than the alternative, which was allowing the YMCA to close. A charitable foundation is purchasing the YMCA, the building and property, a key in triggering the agreement. Under the lease agreement, the city will guarantee the Y's lease payments. The city will sublease the building to the YMCA. The plan also calls for the city to contribute the $505,000 for capital repairs, and the third main component will see the YMCA's tax exemption continue should the property become taxable under the ownership of the foundation. City staff's report says for the plan to be successful, it requires commitments from the stakeholders, business, and the public to generate 4,500 Y memberships. The Sault YMCA currently has about 3,000 members. In the 90s, membership was north of 7,000.
And I think council was doing their due diligence to make sure that they were making the right decision. And we were happy to be here to answer those questions. And with this partnership moving forward, I think we can have a sustainable YMCA that can continue to offer programs for the community.
Is it going to be, like for everyone involved, is it going to be a little bit of a struggle, do you think, to get people interested in the bridge part of it when there's talk of the new Y, and does talk of a new Y putting the cart before the horse?
I don't think so. I think it's necessary that, like we've learned from this experience, that we need to be taking the steps in the future to make sure that something like this doesn't happen again. We've all seen all the counselors speaking about it, the group, Taryn, everybody, about how important it is for the social services of the city. So I don't think it's going to separate any type of current fundraising. I think everybody in the community knows that we need a solution now.
Is the Northeastern Ontario group, the Sudbury, Timmins, North Bay group, is that a possibility? I heard that raised, but I'm not sure in what context.
We aren't able to comment on that as of right now. However, we are exploring other partnerships to make a more sustainable path forward.
A two-story building at 26 Queen Street has received rezoning approval from council to be converted into a rooming house. The building is located on the north side of Queen, about 70 meters from the intersection of Queen and Gore Streets. The applicant, Mehdi Afarel, purchased the building 2 years ago. He plans to build 13 bedrooms and 5 shared bathrooms across both floors of the two-story building, with 8 parking spaces at the rear. Vehicles could access parking via a laneway of Albert Street East. City Planning Director Peter Tonazzo recommended council approve the rezoning application. We have more news coming up after a short break, but first, let's take a look at the weather for the weekend ahead.
The Firstlocal Weekly Report is made possible with the support of these community-minded sponsors. Canadian Tire, made for life in Canada, 200 McNabb Street, Sault Ste. Marie. The Medicine Shop, offering professional and confidential pharmacy services. The Medicine Shop, 59 Great Northern Road. Arch, the Algoma Residential Community Hospice, 229 4th Line West. Get your tickets for the monthly 50-50 raffle. When you help hospice, everyone wins.
Welcome back. The chiefs of Garden River and Batchewana First Nation are asking the City of Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario to help support their members this summer as the largest First Nation settlement money is received and distributed. Chief Karen Bell and Mark McCoy told City Council they expect the settlement money to flow to its members this summer and that money will stimulate the local economy. Garden River and Batchewana First Nations are offering financial literacy sessions for its members, both in person and virtual for those who live elsewhere, as well as education in will and estate planning, cyber crimes, and mental health and addictions. The $10 billion Robinson-Huron Treaty settlement was reached after an extensive court battle. U.S. First Lady Jill Biden made a stop in the Upper Peninsula Friday to tour the Sioux Locks in Sioux, Michigan. Her Michigan tour, along with Douglas Emhoff, the husband of Vice President Kamala Harris, began Thursday at various events in Marquette. Biden then toured the progress of construction of the new superlock that the federal government has funded. An organization predicts this year's summer cruise tourism numbers around the Great Lakes will be record-breaking. The Cruise the Great Lakes organization predicts long-term growth for regional cruising. The organization had a tourism conference to highlight efforts around the Great Lakes to accommodate an increase in cruise ships visits on Tuesday. Members said that more than 140,000 cruise passenger visits are expected this year. One of the speakers said they estimate this year's numbers of visitors will bring in more than $200 million. Cruises will make nearly 600 port visits in 2024. Those ports include Marquette, Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, and Mackinac Island. On this side of the river, cruise ships are expected to be less than previous seasons, with 3 cruise ships no longer offering the round trips on the Canadian side of the Great Lakes. Fencing has now gone up on the former General Hospital site. Owner of the property, Italo Ferrari, on behalf of an Ontario numbered company, was forced to install fencing around the property by the city. It's been an ongoing battle between the city and potential developer for years. The General Hospital site has been trashed by vandals despite security being hired by Ferrari. The city asked Ferrari to install security fencing around the property over 1 year ago. The numbered company says it plans on building a long-term bed facility along with riverfront apartments or condos. However, no plans for the development has yet been submitted to the city. Are you looking at what to do or who to call in an emergency? About 300 residents took the opportunity to find out at an emergency preparedness showcase at the Downtown Plaza. It's a wind-up event on the final day for Canada's annual Emergency Preparedness Week, which ran May 5th to the 11th this year. The OPP, Canadian Red Cross, Sault Ste. Marie Police Services, Sioux Search and Rescue, and Sault Ste. Marie Paramedic Services were among the organizations who co-hosted the event. More than 100 of the attendees were children. The kids were encouraged to visit each of the booths where they received a sticker. A full ballot of stickers qualified them to win prizes.
And it's basically showcasing all of our emergency responders and agencies that would help in an emergency. So we have like the MNR, we have Sioux Fire, EMS, Sioux Police, OPP. We have other members of VPR, Sioux Area Hospital, and PUC here as well.
Very family oriented. I see kids are getting various tours. They're going up in the deuce and a halves and stuff. Pretty cool for kids.
Absolutely, yeah. A lot of vehicles that they don't get to see unless it's at an emergency. So if you're not at an emergency, you're not going to see some of these vehicles. So it's a good chance for them to be up close, see inside some of them, get to sit in them, ask questions about them, see some of the tools that we use in emergencies. We usually have the fire truck out at a lot of different events, but some of these vehicles you don't get to see all the time.
And how many people poured through, do you think, so far today?
We've definitely had a couple hundred. We had a passport system where they would go and get check marks at every booth that they went to go see.
Well, a day like today, it lets the younger people experience the group of people that are here, all the emergency responders, everything they do. So if there's ever an emergency situation, there's no fear. These young people know that we're here and we're friendly and we're there to help them. So, and not just search and rescue, you have the police, the military, everybody that's here will be working together if there's a major disaster. And it's good for all these people to realize that we can work together and help them.
The City of Sault Ste. Marie, PUC Services, Inc. and the Sioux Climate Hub announced the second annual Sault Ste. Marie Electric Vehicle Showcase this year in partnership with the Queen Street Cruise in downtown Sault Ste. Marie on June 14th and 15th. As part of the Queen Street Cruise, local EV owners, including area business with EVs, will display their vehicles, including plug-in hybrids. The PUC will be on site with their EV fleet to share their knowledge and explain how the EV home charger rental program works. Visitors to the EV showcase will be entered into a draw to win a prize pack. Registration is open to all EV owners, regardless of make and model. Space is limited, so early registration is encouraged. Coming up, we speak to the owner of Campbell Amusements about the carnival business and their 50th year at the Pee Wee Arena this weekend. But first, we head on down to the Cat Cafe with Heidi Ivany, who has another cat up for adoption from Tag.
Welcome back to the Cat Cafe. I'm here with DJ Fine, owner of Fine's Bakery. And today we have a very, very special kitty. What would you tell me about Tux?
So, as you said, this is Tux. Tux is the oldest and biggest fellow we have in our room right now. He is 27 months old, fully fixed, fully up to date on shots, of course, as all the cats are in the room, as long as they're of age to get fixed. He is super mellow. He is very good at being snuggled more than being held. He'll lay down beside you, crawl over your lap. He is also very good to a home that can be the only animal or with other animals, as long as they're not super high energy animals.
Okay.
He is more senior or older kid home.
Okay. Okay, so not looking for the activity that comes with small children or like other kittens, puppies, that sort of thing.
Absolutely. A little bit less energy in his home would be best for him.
Okay, all right. So, well, he certainly looks healthy and happy. Is there anything else that you would say about him, or?
No, other than he is really longing for his home now after a long time. He's 2 years old. He definitely is easily to overlook, but he is a gorgeous cat with a great personality, very easy to love, very easy to love you back.
Okay. Well, you heard it right from DJ, who is the authority on this particular Tux. He would be ideally suited, once again, to perhaps a calmer environment, lacking in the energy that comes with smaller animals, smaller children, so perhaps ideally suited to a senior. So if you are looking for a cuddler, then look no further than Tux. He's here and he's waiting for you.
Thanks, Heidi. We have lots more coming up. Don't go away.
The Firstlocal Weekly Report is made possible with the support of these community-minded sponsors. Arch, the Algoma Residential Community Hospice, 229 4th Line West. Get your tickets for the monthly 50-50 raffle. When you help hospice, everyone wins. The Medicine Shop, offering professional and confidential pharmacy services. The Medicine Shop, 59 Great Northern Road. Canadian Tire, made for life in Canada, 200 McNabb Street, Sault Ste. Marie.
It's the Victoria Day weekend, and in these parts that means getting the cottage ready, having barbecues, and of course, welcoming the Pee-wee Midway to town. Campbell Amusements have been providing the annual carnival for 50 years here in the Sault, and while the crews were busy setting up on the rides and games, we caught up with Danny Campbell, second-generation president and owner of Campbell Amusements. His parents started the business back in 1967, and we asked Danny what has changed the most in the carnival business in the last 50 years.
Well, as far as the as far as the essence of what we do is still the same. I mean, we bring rides in, we bring games, so I mean that's never changed. But obviously, some of the differences are the style of rides that we bring in are much less labor intensive now, and because just like everybody else, we're having a hard time finding employees that can help us out and want to do what we want to do. So that's one thing for sure, is that the ease of setting up rides and tearing them down has become a little better. So primarily our route hasn't changed much in the 50 years we've been in business. So we start in Brantford. We do Brantford, then we play Newmarket, then we come up to Sault Ste. Marie, which for the May 24th weekend. After that, we start heading east, actually. We go down to Trenton, and from there we make one stop out in Quebec and all the way out to the East Coast. It's the only life I've ever known. I mean, I was kind of born into the business. I think I was out here when I was maybe 4 weeks old, was the first time that I was on a carnival lot, apparently. But it's become much better. The lifestyle is what draws people to it, and then also it keeps people away from it. Say we're lucky that a lot of the spots that we're playing are spots that we've been playing for 50 years. So coming back to the Sault, it's just like coming back home as far as the Sault Ste. Marie goes. I mean, we've been coming here for so long, so we know, we know what we have to do when we get to the Sault as far as locating equipment and whatnot, and also we know what we need to do as far as obviously advertising and obviously everything else that goes along with running a business up here. So probably 20 years ago that I actually stepped into being more of a predominant figure. Obviously, when my parents were still around, then they were the go-to as far as management goes. So it's been, like I say, probably 20 years since I've been sort of the figurehead of what the company is at this point.
Your son is in training?
Yes. So my son is 24, and he has worked for us for a couple of years, as far as full-time for a couple of years, after he was done with school and done maybe going out and exploring a couple other job opportunities. So then he decided that he wanted to come back to the business and work here. So I think this is the route that he's on. He seems to be taking a great interest in the business and doing a very good job.
The Algoma Kids Market comes to Church Street in Echo Bay Saturday afternoon, May 25th. This is an event to help support local kids and teens 7 to 17 as they launch and promote their very own business. Joining us today to talk more about the event is Heather Dollamont. How are you?
Great.
Good.
How are you?
I'm great. Now, we've had a great conversation in between time here. So tell me about this event. There's a lot going on. And then, so it's called the Spring Kids Craft Market, Saturday, May 25th.
Yeah, so I started the Algoma Kids Market in February of this year, and we had a vendor market for kids who want to be entrepreneurs. And I thought it's really cool because my two girls they've got that bug. Yeah. So I thought, well, why not provide them an opportunity to sell their stuff? Yeah. And wouldn't you know it, there's so many kids who wanted the same opportunity. Yeah. So, and it was such a smashing success. Now we're putting on a spring one.
This is great. I was just telling my 13-year-old son it's time to get a job. So,
absolutely.
So tell me more how the kids can get involved, where it's going to be, what time, anything.
Yeah, so we're holding it at the Echo Bay Hall for the second time, and I know everybody in the Sioux is like, I don't want to go all the way out there, but it's fun. It's a great venue. We've got the outdoor space and the indoor space because it's such good weather now, so we've got that. And the kids who, if your kids are wanting to be involved and want to get a table, we've only got 4 left.
Okay.
So you're going to have to get in touch with us really soon. You can send us an email to kidscraftmarketssm@gmail.com, and I can hook you up from there.
Okay.
Or you can just find our event on Facebook. It's all over Facebook. So if you're on groups, we're there.
Okay. So you said last year was a smashing success, which I'm sure this year will be as well. Tell us a little bit more about that. Like, how many vendors did you have last year? How many have you increased your numbers this year?
Well, we have increased our numbers. It's a really small venue, so we were only able to fit like 9 or 10 in the hall because it's so small. But we filled it, and so it was packed out. And we had a range of everything from baked goods to somebody who was making lip balms and slime. Great.
Slime would go far.
Slime would go far, but as a parent who took home slime, I was not exactly excited about it. But it was great. It was such a great product. All homemade, all natural stuff. We have somebody who's coming out who's making different flavors of cotton candy.
No.
Oh my gosh,
it's
you
great
have
that they've come
to try
up with this
it.
themselves, the kids' ideas. So,
so fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. So last year was a smashing success, and so will this year.
I'm so excited.
And we've got bouncy castles too. So
bouncy castles. We've even got kid musicians.
Really?
Yep.
Are they from the area?
They are. They're from St. Joe's Island. Actually, sorry, not St. Joe's Island. Bruce Mines.
Okay.
And they're really talented, and I mean, I just love providing this platform for kids to do whatever they creatively can, you know? So
you are an entrepreneur.
I am.
We were talking about that before we sat in front of the cameras. Tell me a little bit about that and a little bit how you decided, hey, we need to do this Spring Kids Craft Market.
Well, so I grew up in an entrepreneurial household. Both my mom and my dad have been entrepreneurs since I was born, pretty much. It's how they made a life for us that was really good. And that's in Southern Ontario, which says a lot because it's really a lot more expensive down there than in Northern Ontario. So I grew up learning the craft of entrepreneurship from as soon as I could talk. And so I learned all the good, bad, and the ugly of building a business, which is super important to know. And then my parents built a multi-million-dollar company. They sold that, and then they built another multi-million-dollar company. And my dad currently still is an entrepreneur. We always joke he's going to die behind his desk. He's never going to stop working.
He's going to keep going.
But I'm so proud to be from that family. So it's just so natural for me to be an entrepreneur myself and pass that on. So
are your daughters? You have a son and 2 daughters.
I have a son and 2 daughters.
And which one of your children are participating?
So right now, my middle daughter is the one that's kind of taking the lead, and she's going to do a little stand with foods around popcorn. So popcorn, cake pops, anything with the word pop in it. So
that's such a cool idea.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for popsicles as well, then maybe. So what else can you tell us about the day? Let's go over the date again.
Yeah. So it's Saturday, May 25th. It's going to be from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. And you can come out. It's free to the public. So
I was just going to ask you.
Yeah, it's free admission to the public. So come out. Please come out and support these kids who are putting everything out there for you. And there's going to be there's refreshments, there's bouncy castle, there's going to be face painting. So we're going to try and make it as fun as possible.
Good. Well, any event that has bouncy castles, face painting, and popsicles is a good event to attend. Especially just getting your kids started if they give them that business mind, that entrepreneurial mind, and put them out there and expose them to that. So this is an awesome event, and I appreciate you doing that for the kids of our area.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
this is
problem.
Great.
No problem. So again, this event is Saturday, May the 25th. You are going to go to the Echo Bay Hall. This will be posted to firstlocalnews.com. And Heather, it was a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
And good luck at this event. I know it's going to be a success. Please take your kids out and allow them
hope
to
we'll see you there.
Yeah, definitely we'll be there with the 13-year-old.
Awesome.
For next year so he can be there and have his own bit.
Perfect.
And that's it for this week. Don't forget, you can check out the latest breaking news on firstlocalnews.com at any time. I'm Colette Linden, and for all of us at First Local, have a great long weekend, and we will see you next weekend.